As it is not possible to deal with the tunnels only from the air, our soldiers are also doing it from the ground. There's no guarantee for 100% success, but we are doing our best to achieve the maximum.
We are hopeful that Israel will continue to approach this process in a way that minimizes civilian casualties, and that all of us are working hard to return to the ceasefire that was reached in November of 2012.
Netanyahu has made the wrong decision by going into Gaza. The resistance knows how to respond heavily. We know that the occupation will regret this when the resistance will make Gaza a graveyard for them.
No lightning round tonight, so we can bring you the other major story of the week, the fighting in the Middle East, an expanded operation in Gaza by the Israeli forces. We're back with the panel. You heard all sides there. Steve, thoughts?
Well, I think, if you look at the position that Prime Minister Netanyahu is in, there's got to be a temptation to go sort of all out right now while he's got Hamas on the ropes and while he can sort of press his advantage. But as we've noted before on this panel, there is looming in the background this other major issue of Iran. And the news today that the talks have been extended, that Iran's basically, I think, been given a lifeline to November 24th, pushed back yet again, I think takes a card away from Benjamin Netanyahu as he's trying to think about this. And as he looks at that bigger picture, he's got to be more and more concerned with Iran in the context of this everyday street-to-street fighting.
AB.
Well, Israel remains under existential threat from several sources, and they've made it clear the ground operation, though it doesn't look like they intend to occupy Gaza again, is meant to really decimate Hamas's capability, which they are complimenting as they are now saying, with the help of Iran, Hamas is a formidable foe. They are going after the tunnels. They are not going to get out until the job is done. And it wasn't done through the air, and they've decided that they need to be on the ground, and they're going to be there as long as it takes to make a dent in Hamas's capability.
Gaza is not a big place. And Israel can say that this is a pinpoint targeted operation, but there are civilian casualties, and they're mounting 63 today. Well, how does that affect this scenario?
Well, it does, because Hamas is hoping for cameras so it can show dead children, which is exactly how it thrives. Cameras outside all of the hospitals. The fact is they are using human shields. The use of human shields is a violation of international law, humanitarian law. There's Dick Durbin, who's a Democrat, Barbara Boxer have now stepped out on this issue. They've written a letter to the UN High Commissioner on this. This is a breach of international. It's a deliberate attempt to create casualties in their own people. It is a form of true moral depravity, and that is what they thrive on. And the reason the Israelis had to go in very reluctantly is because there was, as we saw on film just yesterday, a tunnel outside of Gaza from which 13 heavily armed terrorists emerged, less than a mile from a kibbutz. What would have happened had the Israelis not found them and shot them would have been a massacre of the worst proportions. Israel has to do this operation. It's an incursion which is not intended to occupy the zone, but to go in perhaps a mile or two, and that's exactly what the Israelis are hoping to do. They have no interest in a major occupation or a major invasion.
How long does it last?
Probably a week.
It could be longer.
Days, not weeks.